My take on toxic relationships. This will be a fun one. So last year I started seeing someone. They came in hot. Total love bomb, just really over the top with their general enthusiasm of me and our new partnership. And I ate that shit up. Because I was fresh off the heels of a long-term relationship wherein my partner had essentially completely emotionally abandoned the relationship. I was primed and ready for a little narcissist interaction. Gradually, the compliments were traded for criticisms of my appearance, how I behaved, what I wore, what I thought. I slowly went from being myself around this individual to acting like a person that this individual would want to date, which was incredibly sad. I was completely unable to acknowledge what the relationship had become because I was still so enthralled in the idea of what it had been. Fast forward about a month, we had just spent Christmas with this individual's family. It was a really awesome day. We got back to their place, and as per usual, we were talking business. We're both business owners, so that was an incredibly normal conversation for us. In the middle of me sharing an idea, he looked right at me and said, "I really don't feel like talking about business right now. You're honestly making me want to punch you in the face." I was like, hey, that's not cool. I've honestly never had a man say that to me, and it really doesn't make me feel safe with you. They proceeded to project and deflect, telling me that I had frustrated them to the point of saying that they would never actually do it, that it was just a flippant comment. I told them that I felt like their response was incredibly manipulative, and that it didn't seem like they were taking any personal responsibility for what they had just said. Things were a little heated, so we decided to sleep on it. Yeah, we'll chat in the morning. The next day, they broke up with me. Their reason was they didn't want to be associated with anything manipulative, essentially inferring that I had been manipulative. I was quite honestly devastated, and it took me a couple months to realize that the relationship had been toxic far before the person said this thing to me, that it had actually become toxic the moment that I felt like I couldn't be myself and still continued to be around this person without acknowledging how I was feeling. I was essentially rewarding the bad behavior, complying. My compliance in pretending to be someone that I was not was an expression of my fear activation. Not wanting to lose them, not wanting to be abandoned, not wanting to face rejection, but my compliance was nothing more than my own manipulation of the relationship. Manipulation is simply trying to achieve a desired result through dishonest means. After breakups, it's very easy for us to apply titles like victim or perpetrator. It helps us move on. Simplifying, labeling, it makes things easier to process. But toxic relationships, they're not a one-way street. It always takes two to tango. Relationships are the greatest teachers that we have in this life, and if we allow ourselves to really dive deep into our psyche and our fear responses, they can really show us a ton of that we need to work through. We sell ourselves short when we don't look at ourselves after a breakup. After all, life is just about what we can control within ourselves. When we remove judgment from our introspection and give ourselves freedom to really look within, we find a wealth of information, and once accessed and applied, it creates within us an unstoppable force.